Let's now proceed with systems of homogeneous linear differential equations. So, linear differential equations. So, ang general form natin, dx dt, or derivative of x with respect to t is equal to a11x plus a12y. And the second equation will be dy dt is equal to a21x plus a22y. So, in matrix form, so we can convert that into z prime is equal to az. So, where z is equal to xy, and z prime is the derivative of that particular matrix. So, kung kukunin ko ang derivative nito, this is derivative of x with respect to t, derivative of y with respect to t. Sige, lagyan natin rito. Derivative with respect to t. So, is equal to a11, a12, a21, a22. So, all you need to do is to get the numerical coefficients a11, a12, a21, a22. Then, multiplied by matrix x, y, or x, y. So, these are the unknown values. So, ito yung unknown value natin na z. So, this is actually your z prime, and this therefore is your entire a. So, ang general solution niya ay z. So, the unknown value is equal to z1, constant 1 multiplied by z1 plus constant 2 multiplied by z2 is equal to c1 omega 1 e to the lambda 1t plus c2 omega 2 e raised to lambda 2t. So, again, where z is the unknown matrix x, y. So, what is omega? So, these are the values to be solved as well na i-multiply natin kay C1 and C2 later. So, therefore, xy is equal to C1 AB, that's your omega, e raised to value of lambda 1 t is equal to C2 AB, e raised to lambda 2 of t. So, here are the steps. So, una muna, kailangan nating hanapin ang lambda. So, how do we get lambda? So, find the determinants of, you just have to subtract. So, from our letter A, di ba ang A natin kanina, matrix A is A11, A12, A21, A22. So, all you need to do is to subtract lambda from the principal diagonal. So, this is the so-called principal diagonal of the matrix. So, kung magsusubtract lang ako ng lambda dun sa tinamaan ng arrow. So, that's A11 minus lambda, A22 minus lambda, and then equate that to 0. So, take its determinant. So, how do you get the determinant? So, down minus up. So, if I'm going to get the determinant of that, so mangyayari dyan is A11 minus lambda multiplied by A22 minus lambda minus product of A21 and A12. And A12 equals 0. So, notice that if I'm going to multiply this lambda by lambda, so ang mapo-form nating equation ay degree 2, which is a quadratic equation. So, this will be categorized or pag-anuhin natin, depende kung ano yung case or depende kung ano yung root na makukuha natin kay lambda. So, it can be distinct real roots or pwedeng complex conjugate roots or repeated roots. So, ito yung mga possible na makuha nating value ng lambda. So, if it's case 1, that's distinct real roots. Case 2, if the roots are complex conjugate. Case 3, kapag repeated roots. So, pag nakuha na natin ang lambda, solve na natin yung omega kasi kailangan siya dun sa ating solution. So, meron tayong AB, AB. So, how do we get that? So, since omega is AB, substitute lambda dun sa sinubtract nating lambda from the principal diagonal. So, if lambda is 2, say for example, then A11 minus 2, then A22 minus 2. Then, you just have to multiply this particular matrix and then equate that to 0. Then, you will solve for the values of A and B. Then, after that, iso-substitute na natin yung na-solve na nating AB dito sa ating solution format. So, let us try to illustrate this principle by solving problems na nakuha kay Advanced Engineering Mathematics by Bravo, Cruz, and Gomez. So, it's number 1, page 37 of the book. So, it's given that z prime is equal to 2314z, for which there's an initial condition that z of 0 is negative 3, 1. So that is, when t is 0, the value of x is negative 3, the value of y is positive 1. So meron na tayong answer. So we are expecting that our answer must be x is equal to negative 3 e to the t and y is equal to e to the t. So ano ang ating gagawin? So ang given natin ay naka-express na in matrix form. So naka-matrix form na tayo. So, kung ganito yung given, i-convert muna natin siya into its matrix form. So, since given na, so wala na tayong ibang gagawin. So, magpo-proceed na tayo dun sa step 1 kanina. So, as per said kanina, you have to solve for lambda. So, that's your step 1. So, solving for lambda. So, how do we get lambda? So again, dun lang sa ating matrix 2, 3, 1, 4, we are to subtract lambda from the principal diagonal. So that's 2 minus lambda. You have 3, you have 1, and then 4 minus lambda. And then equate that to 0 and take its determinant. So taking its determinant, you just have to take the product of this down and minus up. So that's 2 minus lambda. 4 minus lambda minus 3 times 1 is equal to 0. So, product of that down minus the up. Product of the up. So, that's 2 minus lambda times 4 minus lambda multiplied by 1 times 3 or 3 times 1 is equal to 0. So, expanding or using FOIL method, that's 8 minus 4 lambda minus 2 lambda plus lambda squared minus 3 is equal to 0. So, rearranging, you have lambda squared minus 6 lambda. That's negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6 lambda. 8 minus 3 is 5 is equal to 0. So, now, to solve for the value of lambda, I need to factor this out. So, that gives you lambda minus 5, lambda minus 1 is equal to 0. Then, lambda 1 is equal to 5. Lambda 2 is equal to 1. So, now we have two roots na magkaiba. So, this is distinct. So, ang ating ay case 1. So, we are to solve using case 1 kasi ang roots natin ay distinct real roots. So, therefore, nakuha na natin ang lambda. So, solve na natin ngayon ang ang omega 1. So, for omega 1, which is A1, B1, so that corresponds to lambda 1 which is equal to 5. So, ang gagawin, isa-substitute daw natin yung nakuha nating lambda dun sa pinagsubtrakan natin kanina. So, this is 2 minus lambda, 1, 3, 4 minus lambda, A1, B1 is equal to 0. So, substitute lang natin yung 5. So, that's 2 minus 5, 1, 3, 4 minus 5. A1, B1 is equal to 0. That's negative 1. Sorry, it's negative 3, I mean. That's positive 3, so 1, negative 1. A1, B1 is equal to 0. So, 2 minus 5 is negative 3, 3, 1, 4 minus 5 is negative 1. Then, i-multiply natin. So, paano mag-multiply ng matrix? Ito, multiplied mo doon. So, that gives you negative 3, A1. Then, i-add natin sa ito, multiply mo dun. So, that's positive 3B1 is equal to 0. So, again, yung una mo multiply mo dun sa first row nung ating column matrix. Then, this one second to the second row nung ating column matrix na B1. So, that's 3B1 is equal to 0. And then, syempre, dun sa kabila, ito rin, dun sa una, and then ito, pangalawa. So, that gives you 1 times A1 is positive A1, negative 1 times B1 is negative B1 is equal to 0. So, malalaman mong tama ka if ang nakuha nating root ay parallel. So, pag equations pala. If the equations na nakuha natin ay parallel, then, nasa right track tayo. So, we are on the right track. Kasi pag dinivide ko to by negative 3, pag dinivide ko to by negative 3, magiging positive A1. Pag dinivide ko by negative 3, magiging negative B1 is equal to 0. So, meaning to say, makosolve natin yung value ng A at B by assuming any number basta hindi magiging 0 pareho. Say for example, if A1 is equal to 1, then B1 is also 1. So you assume any value. So syempre, ang pipiliin na natin yung mas mababa. Kasi kung correspond lang naman yung value ni B1 kay A1 or A1 kay B1. Say for example, if I'm going to set, if B1 is 2, A1 is also 2. So, syempre, ang kunin natin yung lowest form. So, if A1 is 1, B1 is 1. So, usually, if ang para hindi na tayo magkalituhan, ang gamitin na lang natin is A1 is equal to 1 or B1 is equal to 1, then solve for the corresponding value of B1 and A1 respectively. So, basta ang aim natin, hindi dapat magsis-0 pareho ang A1 at B1. So, meron na tayong omega 1 as 1, 1. So, let's solve naman para kay omega 2. So, paano kinukuha si omega 2? That's A2, B2 that corresponds to lambda 2 which is equal to positive 1. So, lambda 2 is positive 1. So, again, substitute natin dun sa ating sinubtrakan ng lambda. So, that's 2 minus lambda, 1, 3, 4 minus lambda, A2, B2 is equal to 0. Then, substitute natin, 2 minus your lambda 2 is 1. So, that is 1, 3, 1. 4 minus 1 is also 3. A2, B2 is equal to 0. Then again, multiply tayo. 1 times A2 is A2 plus 3 times B2 is 3B2 is equal to 0. Same is true with the second. A times A2, 1 times A2 is A2, 3 times B2 is 3B2 is equal to 0. Obviously, equations are parallel. So, dahil parallel, again, nasa right track tayo. So, again, we assume any value. So, if A2 is 1, so, pipiliin natin, if A2 is 1, B2 is equal to negative 1/3. Pero, syempre, you hate na mayroong fraction. So, ayaw natin ng may fraction. So, ang pipiliin ko, kukunin ko na lang if B2 is equal to 1, A2 is negative 3. So, the same lang din yan. Again, any number will do ha, basta hindi magiging 0 pareho. So, A2 is negative 3. Kasi, ang nasolve natin dito ay B2 times 1 is 3. Transpose mo sa kabila, A2 is negative 3. So, mas pipiliin natin yung walang fraction. So, ano ang makukuha natin kay omega 2? That is negative 3, 1. So, therefore, makukuha na natin yung sagot gamit yung Z is equal to, ano yung format natin kanina? C1 omega 1 e to the lambda 1t plus C2 omega 2 e to the lambda 2t. So, that is C1 lambda 1 e to the lambda 1t plus C2 lambda 2 e to the lambda 2t. So, Z is equal to C1 lambda 1. What's lambda 1? That lambda 1 that we solve is 1, 1. E raised to lambda 1t. So, the value of lambda 1 is 5t. Plus C2, lambda 2, omega 2 is negative 3, 1. Then E to the lambda 2, the value of lambda 2 is 1 times T is T. So, this will be our general solution. So, ito na yung ating general solution. So, there is an initial condition that Z of 0 is equal to negative 3, 1. So, that is when t is 0, x is negative 3, y is equal to 1. So remember, this z is equal to xy. So, ibig sabihin, substitute lang natin siya dito sa ating general solution. So, substituting the initial condition, z is xy, which is negative 3, 1. So, di ba, xy siya, substitute natin yung initial condition, negative 3, 1 equals C1, 1, 1, e to the 0 times 5. The value of t is 0 times 5. That's plus C2, negative 3, 1, e to the 0. The value of t is 0. Then you got negative 3, 1 equals c1, 1, 1. E to the 0 is 1 plus c2, negative 3, 1. E to the 0 is also 1. So, magkakaroon tayo ng equation number 1 because we need to solve for the values of C1 and C2. Remember, ang lahat ng nasa taas para kay X, ang lahat ng para sa baba ay para kay Y. So, that gives you negative 3 equals 1 times C1 is C1, C2 times negative 3 is negative 3C2. That will be our equation 1. Then, yung sa baba naman, 1 is equal to C1 plus C2. So, again, 1 is equal to C1 plus C2 times 1. So, that will be equation 2. Then, to solve for the value of C1 and C2, I just need to subtract the two equations to eliminate C1. So, pag sinubtract natin, change the sign of the subtrahend, change the sign of the subtrahend, change the sign of the subtrahend, and then proceed to that of addition. So, magiging ng addition ang ating operation. So, this gives you negative 3 plus negative 1 is negative 4 equals C1 minus C1 cancels out. Then, negative 3C2 minus C2 is negative 4C2. Then, the value of C2 is positive 1 by dividing both sides by negative 4. If C2 is 1, substitute natin to either of the two equations. Meron tayong equation 2 which is equal to 1 is equal to C1 plus C2. So, gamitin natin ang equation 2. So, 1 is equal to C1 plus C2. Sabi, C2 is 1. So, if C2 is 1, transposing that to the left, that gives you C1 is equal to 0. So, having that solved, substitute na natin siya dun sa ating general solution. So, what is Z now? Z is equal to C1. The value of C1 is 0. So, that is 0, 1, 1, e to the 5t plus the value of C2 which is positive 1 multiplied by negative 3, 1 e to the t. So, syempre, 0 multiplied by any is 0. So, again, this z is xy. So, what's the value of x? Lahat ng nasa taas. X is 1 times negative 3 times e to the t is negative 3 e to the t. Then, the value of y yung nasa baba which is 1 times e to the t is e to the t. So, that therefore, ang ating sagot. X is negative 3 e to the t, y is equal to e to the t. So, which is the same as that of the answer here.